So ja, dit allemaal oor. Dis nou, né? Hier kom ek wel. Sorry.
All right, guys, thank you very much for joining us. No,
Jy het mooi.
Thanks so much for joining us. Apologies for the late start, guys. Julian was just making his way from the field. We've got Julian Redelinghuys, Scrum coach for the Emirates Lions, and I don't see any hands, so we can. Who's ready to go?
Yeah, just firstly from our side as well. Sorry, look, I'm really sorry I'm late. Sam had to chase me off the field now, so sorry about that, guys. I really apologize. My bad. I've seen Jan will check.
Jan, let's go. Jan and then Morgan.
Thanks, thank you, Julian. Julian, yeah, I think the obvious question is, what are the goals? I mean, you guys obviously not for the playoffs, but what are your goals for the last two games and obviously for this week? I mean, no team ever plays to lose, so winners are obvious. So what are your other goals for the last two games?
Yeah, I think, thanks for the question, Jan. I think for us, yeah, we just need to improve. Obviously, we've learned so much the last couple of seasons. And for us to just stick to the process and improve, and obviously, we don't want to be results focused, but we all know that rugby is just so much more lacquer if you win. But if to focus on the result, yeah, won't necessarily do the job for you. So focusing on processes, there's a lot of things we did this week that we like almost implementing for the future as well. So it's almost for us stay in the process, but focus on things that we would like to improve in the long term. So more almost like a long-term goal. As you said, we can't qualify for the playoffs anymore. So now it's almost like focusing, staying in process, but building on things for the future that will help us out.
As a follow-up, I mean, I'm not expecting you to give state secrets away, but what are the issues that you are actually focusing on?
No, I think for us, obviously this weekend, decision making, we felt actually against the Sharks as well. I think our decision making, game driving, and listening dangerous for prop to start the game plan. But I think as I see now, that's and then on attack, just some of the structures, kickoff receive, some of the structures, just like more or less just building on a system that we can take forward, if that makes sense, if that answers the question.
Thank you, Jan. Liam? Liam, you're up.
Is it okay, Liam, if I can go quickly?
Okay, go, Morgan.
Okay. How's it, Coach? On review, after your review of the Connacht game, what was the assessment? What you mentioned now that the decision making was a bit of a problem. What was the other areas that you guys found was lacking in that game and that defeat?
I think Coach Ricardo will always talk about getting 3 positives in a row, and I think we didn't quite manage to get 3 positives in a row often in the game. So I think for us is like when a negative is met is to fix it with a positive. I think that's one thing we've learned in the last couple of weeks. Is when you do something wrong, is don't go into that spiral. It's almost like to fix a negative with a positive. I think that's something we've reviewed now this week, and it's almost like you're putting yourself under pressure, putting yourself under even further pressure, instead of matching the pressure and then transferring the pressure onto them. I hope that makes sense. I think that was our biggest thing after this weekend.
And then my final question is, you personally must have learned also a lot through the season, especially scrumming against the European clubs and the way they do stuff and the way they seem to always be able to like outfox almost the power that you guys are putting into the scrum. What have you personally learned in the last few months, and how are you applying it to your coaching steps?
Yeah, I don't know how much time you guys have. But it has been a great learning curve. Yeah, I think we've seen so many different pictures. I think if you guys think back to the last couple of years, you've only played against the Bulls, the Stormers, the Sharks, and so many times over and over again. So you've had the similar pictures the whole time. Whereas now, we've scrummed against, what is it, 15 different packs, and there's reserves in the whole time. So you get so many different pictures. So there's really a long list of things we have learned, which is actually great for our guys. We just had a chat now between the front rows. Is what the guys did this weekend against us, and now we can neutralize and then again what we're seeing against Benetton. But I think, like you rightfully said, is they do come with almost like smart tricks, just to almost like nullify your scrum, which they do really well. So for us, that was a new thing. South Africa, it's almost like just guys going, flat out every scrum, whereas these guys almost have like little nuances and as to how to influence the scrum. So yeah, it has been a great learning curve. It's a good question. Thanks, Molly.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Morgs. Liam?
Hi, guys. Sorry about earlier. Julian, my question relates to, you mentioned the word smart earlier, and one gets the impression at times that the European teams, even when they travel here, they're very street smart. They kind of sort of bend the arc of certain decisions in their favor. I'm not saying that they're doing it illegally or whatever, but they have means and ways of manipulating the system. Do you think that's an area where South African teams can perhaps improve?
I think it's definitely something that we would have picked up now in our first season in the URC. And I definitely think it is something that we can improve on. I think there's a lot of things we can improve on, but I think if you look at those teams as well, they have a lot of internationals in their teams. Whereas in South Africa at the moment, our dynamics are a little bit different with all players playing overseas. So they've got the guys coming in with taste, knowledge, and bringing that towards the provincial sides as well, their club teams. So I think that's also the reason why they have that, how they can introduce that into the teams. And for us, I think we are lucky. We've said earlier, we've learned so much. Looking forward to implementing it. In a couple of weeks' time will be the South African team's first pre-season in a long time. And that's normally where you install all of your new systems and things you want to maybe take forward. So yeah, we're looking forward to that.
Okay, just one follow-up one. If you could get all the URC refs into one room and you asked to ask them one question, what would it be?
Yes, if you give me time, I'll write you a nice little essay about that. But no, I must say, I think with Tupper there, I did mention this a couple of weeks ago. We can see there's progress coming into the systems and how they're trying to resolve it. And we had him here for one day, and it just him sitting with us and like going through the process with us made us feel better. So at least we know there's advances coming and it's getting better. So yeah, we're looking forward to seeing the growth within all the refs and within all of us. I think we all just want to serve the game and make this game we all sincerely love is to make it a watchable and enjoyable sport where we can get the fans to not be frustrated, but to fall in love with the game and enjoy watching it.
Thanks.
Thanks, Liam. Carl, and then Jan.
Don't you see, you call it streetwise and that, don't you see it as partly being unsportsmanlike? Especially, I mean, your scrums that they try to nullify and staying extra time in the between halves and everything. You want to adapt, but is it really a good thing to adapt rather than to say, listen, it's unsportsmanlike and tackle it from that side?
Yeah, that's a great question, Paul. I think we have to almost divide it into things that are almost unsportsmanlike and then things where they are really smart. So like them sitting before every set piece, I think that's, for us, it's frustrating. I don't know how you guys feel about that and how the spectators feel about it. But it is probably smart if you have to look at a team coming up to altitude and heat. You would want to bend the rules as far as you can to give yourself the best chance to win. That is a chat we've had with the refs now, and it's for them. It's unfortunate. It's hard for them. He says he can't be a doctor to say, listen, this guy's not injured, so stand up and carry on. So it is, like you said, there's some of the things we would like to adapt to, and some of the things that we would just say, maybe that is unsportsmanlike, maybe it's smart, and that's up to each team to decide what their value system is, what they will understand for. I can't see us sitting down too much. That's not the type of game we want to play. But I hope that answers the question, Paul.
All right. Thanks, Carl.
100%.
Are you okay there, Carl?
Yeah, I don't want to put him in a corner or something, and he seems very happy and friendly today, so I'd rather leave it like at that.
I want to dive a little bit deeper into that. Get me in trouble.
All right. Is there anyone else with a question?
No, I'm good. Julian actually answered. I was going to ask the same question about the delaying tactics. Julian's answered it.
Okay, perfect.
Do you guys agree with me? What do you guys think?
Definitely
Ja, hulle speel speletjies. Jy weet hulle speel speletjies.
Yeah. But they're smart. They also make their front row sit down so the game can't continue. Yeah. But
The problem
I think it's frustrating. If I chat to my my wife's auntie, then she'll say, "Why are the guys sitting the whole time?" So I think a lot of fans are feeling that way. So yeah, I don't know how we can correct it though, but yeah, it is something that I think is frustrating to everyone except them.
Pass the
The
ball to them
disappointing
while
thing
they're
is
sitting
rugby is
there. Then
becoming
you
more like soccer in that way.
Yes. That running
pass the
time.
ball while they're sitting, and then you form a loose maul, maul over them, and then one or two brutes shoot.
I think you'll jump up quickly there. Yeah. Okay.
All right, guys. Thanks, Ross. I see you've joined. Do you have a question, or are we okay?
All good, thanks.
Happy days. Thanks so much, guys. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thanks,
guys.
guys. All the best.
Right.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.